In this video, I'm going to talk about my most anticipated indie comics for New Comic Book Day, July 6th, 2022. Let's get into it. I am going to first talk about a couple, just real quick, because they are ones I've either talked about before or ones that are honorable mentions or ones that I think you already know about. The first one's one I think you already know about, The Closet, number 2 of 3 from James Tynion, Chris O'Halloran, and Gavin Fullerton. Creepy issue number 1. I'm ready to see the rest of this because I loved issue number 1. But I just wanted to talk about it briefly because I think you guys have heard about it a lot in the general YouTube and Instagram comic arena. So I left that off of my top 10 for that reason. And then Heavy Metal Drummer, number 6 of 6, the end of an awesome series from Kiefer Finlow, Emiliano Pliskin, and Luca Vassallo. Again, left this one off only because I've talked about it a lot, so I want to talk about some newer ones and ones I haven't gotten to talk about quite as much. And then an honorable mention to Cities of Magic, number 2, and that's Magic with an ICK, not just this IC. Jacob Free and Will Tempest from Scout Comics. Good, the bad, and the halfway decent. I really enjoyed issue number 1. I don't remember too much of it. It's not on my pull list, but it is on. I've been getting it from the Scout Comics box. I think I will get issue number 2 in this coming month's box, so I look forward to checking it out. But it didn't quite make the top 10, but I think it's one to keep an eye on because it was a pretty interesting comic that I got to check out. So moving into number 10 here, I have one from Vault Comics that has been a long time since the last issue. I'm pretty sure talked with Mark Russell at Fan Expo New Orleans, and issue 2 had come out. So that has been since January. And now we got issue number 3. This is Dead Box from Vault Comics. I don't know what happened, why it got so delayed. I know he had said there was going to be a delay, but I don't know what that was. But Mark Russell, Ben Tiesma, I think it's Ivan or Igor Popov, and Jim Campbell doing the letters on this one. I absolutely loved the first 2 issues of Dead Box. I thought there was some stuff in here that was very much something that related to things we're going through right now in the world. But such a good take on all of it. And this issue, strangers arrive in Lost Turkey for nefarious purposes. A local makes a questionable movie choice while babysitting his grandkids. So that's my number 10 pick this week. Number 9 this week, Black Caravan book from Massimo Rossi and Ludovico Serigati. Broken Souls Ballad, number 2. I loved volume 1 of Broken Souls Ballad. I just talked about it in the FOC video because issue 3 is on FOC. But issue 2 is coming out this week. And Tom has been caught now and brought back to St. Abigail's. There, his power seems to lose control and, like the anxiety that plagues him, devour him and imprison him. As the siblings try to join forces to be able to save their mother and save themselves from the growing threat. This just is such a unique take on mental illness and mental health and the manifestation of these powers that kind of enforced upon them at St. Abigail's, and just how, like it talks about, his power losing control and devouring him, imprisoning him like anxiety does. So I just think this is such an awesome and important comic to read because of that. And I always will say I love Massimo Rossi's writing. Ludovica Serigati's art in this is phenomenal. So this is a series you should definitely be checking out. Moving down to number 8, I've got Astronaut Down #2 from Aftershock Comics from James Patrick and Rubine doing the art. Valentina Brisky and Carlos Mangual also on this one. I think art colors and letters there. Interdimensional astronaut Douglas Spitzer has overshot his destination, and now he's in a world that is both familiar and different. In his home world, a cellular cancer has destroyed 90% of the planet and the people along with it. But this new parallel world cured it. And while the green sky and a clean air is enough to deal with, there's another reason Douglas is hesitant to complete his mission: love. Meanwhile, Mission Control has to deal with the fallout from another failed mission launch and the rapidly encroaching cancer outside, all while trying to aid Douglas, who's the only hope to save their dying world. Issue 1, fantastic. This twist where the guy's really missing the love of his life, and he doesn't have her in his world, and he gets thrown into this world where she's alive, and he's in a world that has cured the cancer, and that is his goal, is to find out how to do it so he can bring that back to his world. But there's clearly a reason for him to stay in that world, so he's gonna have to struggle through that, and I think that's gonna give us a very emotional story going forward. So Astronaut Down #2 is my number 8 pick this week. Number 7 is The Ward #2 from Kevin Scott and Andres Ponce. Dr. Nat Reeves is barely back in action at St. Lilith's Hospital for the preternatural, and stress is already piling on. She still hasn't informed her family, and her coworkers are whispering rumors about her previous departure. For all that, the place hasn't changed much. Each new emergency brings them all closer to the edge. It's just a phenomenal story about a hospital that's overworked and understaffed. But, with the preternatural, supernatural, different types of characters just brought to this hospital, mostly non-human, and trying to keep the medical side pretty accurate. I think that went well in issue number 1. But yeah, this is a really cool world. Kevin Scott is building here. Interestingly, they wrote Scott Cavan as the writer name. So good job, Diamond, for messing up Kevin Scott's name there. But The Ward #2 from Dark Horse Comics is my number 7 pick this week. Number 6 this week, phenomenal story from Behemoth Comics called Dark Beach. On to issue number 4 of 6 from Michael J. Ruiz-Unger and Sebastian Perez. Meet the Sun Freaks. In this full-out flashback issue, we meet the entire cast of Misfits: Eve, Razi, Schultz, Roman, and Ket. The linchpin is pulled when Echo Schultz steals crucial data from his day job at the Science and Tech Building, revealing a nixed project to bring Earth back to the old sun, entitled Daydream. Wildcard Eve forms a plan to steal the rest of the data and finally expose the NRCE, but will her sun obsession blind her from realizing she's putting others in harm's way? This has just been such a cool world to explore, and I think this issue here really is going to give us the why is some of this going on? Why are these people being hunted? And what information is being hidden from the public by the NRCE about Earth, and why the sun is gone? So I love this comic, and it is fantastic. So you all should be checking it out. I have somewhere here. There's a pin that the creator sent me, which is super cool. So shout out to Michael, and I have a patch up here also, but it's stuck to my monitor, so I can't grab it right now. Just fantastic series, and you should all be checking it out from Behemoth Comics. It's my number 6 pick this week. Coming in for number 5 from Scout Comics is Distorted number 5 from Salvatore Vivenzio and Gabriele Falzone. Number 4 just came out this last week and was phenomenal. I absolutely loved seeing these mutant powers in action, these distorted powers, and some confrontations between a couple characters and consequences to actions of robbing a store potentially going on at the end. Just well done. I think, if I remember correctly, it's supposed to be a 6-issue series, and so issue 5 should be getting us really close to that climax. Actually, I am seeing 5 issues available showing up in previews, so that might be it. Issue 5 might be the end of the story for now. I could be wrong, could be going longer, but I think this could be it. But will Tom and Eliza have their rendezvous? Someone from the top sends Ida, who appears to be a war contractor, to fix the situation by force. Mason, wounded on the run, is captured by Special Police Department. Tom is forced to choose between surrendering and the life of the woman he loves. The moment of reckoning has come for Brenner, too, and someone's ready to shut him up. Will the police keep Mason in chains? Will Tom surrender to the will of those who are more powerful than him? And will James, who is on the run with his friends, be satisfied with a normal life? Questions that will be answered in this final chapter of Distorted. Honestly, if this is the last issue, I hope it gets renewed for more, because this is a cool world, and you can look at more characters in this world and continue to kind of build up the mythos of the Distorted and different powers, and are there people out there fighting fighting evil, being good, creating teams, like any superhero kind of team up kind of thing going on. This is a world that could be explored a lot more, but I'm really digging where we've gone. We've gone to some dark places with this. Our cannibal in this story, we've got robbing stores. We've got some dark stuff going on, but yeah, I just am intrigued with the world itself, and always would love to see a return to it. So Distorted number 5 pick this week from Scout Comics. Number 4 this week is a new comic from Mad Cave Studios called Tiger's Tongue number 1. This one from Olivia Stevens, Diansaku Banton Perry, with a cover from Odera Igbakwe. Heed the tiger's tongue and you will not be led astray. Under the militant rule of the tiger's people, empowered by their animal familiars, the Claw is on the brink of war. At the precipice of adulthood, twin princesses Kalindi and Aridani hold the future of the Claw in their hands. Kalindi would sue for peace with the Rivers people, but those who were subjugated to bring order, while Aridani has never aspired to rule. But an ancient prophecy is revealed that'll force fate's hand for the sisters. This one is one that caught my attention in the previous catalog, and I'm seeing the cover from Igbakwe is a cover B, so I must have clicked on the wrong one. I usually try to show the cover A, which is also from Igbakwe, so that works out. So that's the one I'm showing right now. But it caught my attention in the previous catalog, and that description pulled me in. So Tiger's Tongue number 1 is my number 4 pick. Another issue number 1 in my top 5, and actually I have 4 issue number 1s to wrap things up here. This one is from Blue Juice Comics, Knights of the Fifth Dimension, number 1 of 4, from Casey Van Heel and Walter Flanagan. William the Wizard Gardiner is a reclusive comic book creator and artist who has been the sole voice of the legendary psychedelic knights of the fifth dimension for decades. But William grows old and tired, and his once revered comic book series is now relegated to flea markets and bargain bins across the world. Years ago, William enlisted the help of up-and-coming writer-artist Kurt, the Great One Gideon, to carry on the Knight's legacy. But after a short and successful run, a disillusioned Kurt turned to fame and drugs, becoming an industry pariah. After years of silence, William needs Kurt's help again, but it's not with inking or coloring. Will Kurt continue William's legacy and join the long line of dreamers and artists who have kept Vanta Black from seeping into our dimension for generations? I love this idea that there's this kind of bleeding between the creations and actually like it's doing something to protect the world. Love that idea. This one from Blue Juice Comics, who brought us Billy the Kit. So I gotta give this one a try. I gotta put this one out there for other people to check out. Casey Van Heel, Walter Flanagan. I see two other names on the cover credited, Maxime and Jansen. Go check this one out. Knights of the Fifth Dimension from Blue Juice Comics. My number 3 pick. Number 2 this week, Starhenge. Book number 1, Dragon and Boar. Number 1 of 6 from Liam Sharp is a miniseries premiere. Revered creator Liam Sharp cuts loose in this visually stunning 6-issue masterpiece, Starhenge Book 1. A future Merlin travels to 5th century Britain to prevent monstrous time-traveling killer robots from robbing the universe of magic, and Amber Weaver's lively present-day narrative reveals how she becomes drawn into a war across time. The Terminator meets the Green Knight in 30 enthralling pages, setting the scene for this original epic inspired by the Arthurian sagas. If you didn't feel something from that description that says, please read me, I don't know what's going on, but that description, I was immediately sold on this idea. And Liam Sharp's artwork in the previews pages is phenomenal. It is exactly what I expected from a book called Starhenge. I'm all in. This one coming to us from Image Comics, my number 2 pick. Number 1's going to a book from Aftershock Comics. There's Something Wrong with Patrick Todd. This one written by Ed Brisson with art by Gavin Guidry. 15-year-old Patrick Todd lives on the run, hiding out in seedy motels, living out of his backpack, and making sure that his mom, recently struck down by a mysterious illness of the mind, is well cared for. But doctors cost money, a lot of money, and so Patrick turns to a life of crime. Using the telepathic abilities he's been hiding all his life, he forces the worst of the worst to rob banks, taking the money before making them turn themselves in to police. But someone has taken notice of Patrick's schemes. A reckoning is coming. Will the police find Patrick in time to save him, or will he become yet another victim of the killer called Zeus? Written by Ed Brisson and illustrated by Gavin Guidry, There's Something Wrong with Patrick Todd weaves a web of intrigue, deceit, and hot pursuit as danger closes in from all sides. Just sounds phenomenal. All 4 of these last books, obviously I have not read them yet. They're not out yet, but descriptions alone have really put them to the top of my list for books that I am anticipating this week for New Comic Book Day. These are the indie comics that I think you guys should be checking out, especially if you haven't dipped your foot into the indie comics world yet. Really go check these out, especially the ones that I've been reading for a while, like Distorted, Dark Beach, The Ward, even after 1 issue, and Astronaut Down after 1 issue, I can say absolutely. Broken Souls Ballad, Dead Box, Heavy Metal Drummer, The Closet, if you're looking for a good horror. And these number 1s, though, I think they are all worth throwing a couple dollars out there to check them out. So thank you guys for watching. As always, collect what you love. See you next time.